Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Excellent news. Now, as a lot of you know, the only one gripe that I ever really have with Eddie Hearn is his handling of Dillian Whyte. The fact that Dillian only manages to get fights at 2-3 weeks notice for each one. And from the outside point of view, it's almost like I'm kind of wishing that Eddie Hearn would spend a bit more time thinking about Dillian Whyte's career. And as you all know, I'm a huge Eddie Hearn fan. I'm a huge matchroom fan, all this kind of thing. Maybe over the top of it sometimes. But that was my only real gripe, is the fact that I don't hear matchroom Eddie Hearn talk about Dillian Whyte's career as much as maybe they should. But either way, Eddie Hearn has just been speaking about Dillian Whyte. And this is what he had to say. He's going to return, it looks like February the 3rd at the O2 Arena. We're looking for a big fight. He may fight Lucas Browne, particularly if Joshua gets the Parker fight, because Browne is in the mix for that one too. But Dillian's ready. I think he's learning, he's working hard, he's proving he's a top heavyweight. He ground out a win over Robert Helenius. It wasn't sensational, but it was a good, solid win against a very good heavyweight in Helenius. So Dillian, we want to get him a shot at the belt. 2018, looking at the rankings, it's a matter of when and not if. Now, behind the scenes, Dillian is working very, very hard. And you have to realise this guy is number 1 in the WBC. He's number 3 or 4 in the IBF. He's 6 or 7 in the WBA. And he's top 10 in the WBO. He's a real legitimate heavyweight contender. And the plan for Dillian Whyte is to get him that world title shot. I think he's one fight away from that now. And Joshua wants to fight him as well. They had a great fight. And they had a great ding-dong. And Joshua loved it. He wants to do it again. 2018, we will see Dillian Whyte challenge for a world heavyweight title. That was Eddie Hearn's statement. Good news from a Dillian Whyte fan's perspective. It's a shame that Deontay Wilder seems reluctant to fight Dillian Whyte. Obviously, he wants to cash out against Anthony Joshua. He says it's about legacy, but clearly not. It's about money. Otherwise, he would be fighting Joseph Parker right now. That's a pretty obvious answer, isn't it? So AJ has to go around the house and collect all the belts one at a time. Now, when I did that interview with Dillian Whyte, a lot of you guys will remember that Dillian said that he's more than happy to fight Anthony Joshua in a rematch at any given time, any given day. But what he wants is to have a world title around his waist to take into that fight, because it's a good bargaining tool at the table. In other words, he'll get more money by being champion against Anthony Joshua for a unification fight, potentially undisputed, right? So, at the minute, that's not looking very likely, because what does look likely right now is Anthony Joshua will fight Joseph Parker, and then should he beat Joseph Parker, he'll then go and fight Deontay Wilder himself. So Dillian Whyte's only real chance of becoming world champion is a rematch against Joshua. That's not the ideal situation for him. But Joseph Parker doesn't want the fight, and Deontay Wilder doesn't want the fight. Now, we do know that Eddie Hearn offered Deontay Wilder $4 million plus US TV money, and Deontay Wilder turned it down like a mug he is. A coward openly ducked Dillian Whyte. No matter how you look at it, it's a duck. So, for me, what he should have done, or Eddie Hearn should have done, was offered the same deal to Joseph Parker. $4 million plus New Zealand TV money. I think that's fair enough, champion for champion. If Dillian Whyte is good enough to beat either of these guys, then he would take that title into a massive blockbuster fight against Anthony Joshua. It's a fight that a lot of people want to see again. The first fight went a bit backwards and forwards at times. Ultimately, Anthony Joshua won in round number 7, of course. But we all want to see that rematch, and Dillian Whyte is improving all the time. And you have to remember, Dillian Whyte had zero amateur or virtually zero amateur experience after it was cut short with the fact that he was a professional kickboxer. So they weren't too happy about him being an amateur boxer. So he had to go straight into the pro ranks without really learning the boxing craft. So he's learning all the time. And against Robert Helenius, it wasn't the best win in the world. as in stylistically, Robert Helenius made it very, very difficult for Dillian. He had to chase him around the whole night, and we've seen it time and time again. Joseph Parker against Hughie Fury. It was an ugly fight because Hughie was on the back foot the whole night and jabbing, just like Helenius was. And of course, Luis Ortiz against Malik Scott as well, when Scott was running all night. So it's very, very difficult to trap somebody and make it look good. But either way, Dillian got the win. He's got a legitimate name on his record. Robert Helenius was touted to be the next Vladimir Klitschko at one point, and only ever lost one fight against Johan Duapa a while ago when he got stopped, but he was actually winning that fight up until he got clipped. So it's heavyweight boxing, things happen. So looks like it could be Lucas Browne next, because Anthony Joshua is more likely going to take the Parker fight. For me, Wilder should be fighting Parker, or Dillian Whyte should be fighting one of these guys. And Anthony Joshua's next unification fight should be for undisputed. In other words, Joshua shouldn't have to collect all the belts one at a time. He's going about it the long way round. So whoever Anthony Joshua fights last for the undisputed, that one title holder, or champion if you like, will only have to fight one fight to become undisputed, where Joshua's had to have fought 3 and then 4. So make of that as you want. Joseph Parker I'm a massive fan of. Deontay Wilder I'm not at all. I think he's one of the worst champions that we've had in a long, long time. But for me, Parker versus Wilder should be happening. These two are ducking each other because it's all about the money. Deontay Wilder has ducked Dillian Whyte. Joseph Parker has no interest in fighting Dillian Whyte, by all accounts, so we'll have to wait and see. But this is good news from a fan's perspective. And now I have nothing to moan at with regard to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So now I'm back on the Matchroom bandwagon, if you like. If he can pull off a big name out of the hat for February the 3rd for Dillian Whyte to headline at the O2 Arena. If it's Lucas Browne, great. If it's Dominic Brazil, great. Lucas or Luis Ortiz, yeah, great fight. So Big Baby Miller, again, excellent fight. But Lucas Browne, definitely a fight that we're interested in. I'll prefer it if Dillian Whyte was meant to be fighting Wilder or Parker, but it is what it is. So drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe.